Hi everyone, my name is Carissa and welcome to my channel, Chasing the Dream. I make videos about my journey as an entrepreneur and new permanent resident in Canada. This is the first video for my channel and it's going to be based on immigration and immigration status. So when I told a lot of persons that I was coming to Canada and I was going to be, starting a business and possibly, pursuing school, and all of that. A lot of people from my home country asked me, how did I even do it? What was the process like? And all of that. So I've decided to make this video to just put information out there and share information based on my experience on the immigration process and hopefully maybe it could help other persons along their journey. So, why did I even decide to apply to Canada as a permanent resident and how did I do it? So, I applied through the express entry system, and I think that this is the best way to apply to immigrate to Canada. I thought that the process was so transparent. There was a lot of information, you know, online on the Government of Canada's website, and all the steps were laid out. And for me, it was fairly easy and straightforward to follow. So, there are two main steps that are involved: creating an expression of interest. And if you're selected and you're invited to apply for permanent residency, you then submit an application. So, the two main things that I really had to focus on before I even submitted that expression of interest was doing an English test and also getting my credentials assessed. So I was based in Jamaica at the time, and the only test that was available was the IELTS. And so I decided to pursue that exam. It's an English test, and I'm from an English speaking country. And in my opinion, my English is very good. But I would recommend to persons that if you're gonna do the IELTS, even though you're a native speaker of English, just familiarize yourself with the exam, because the exam format for me, well, not just for me, speaking objectively, it's a bit different from, the format of an English exam that I would have done in, maybe high school, for example. The sections are a bit different, even though it was an English exam. So I would recommending anyone that is taking the IELTS exam to familiarize yourself with the test and to do a few practice tests. Thank God I was successful on the first attempt for of doing IELTS, and I got Canadian benchmark 9, and apparently that's a fairly good score, and I submitted that and I got my credentials assessed, so my university degrees, and I submitted an expression of interest and I was selected after that. So what you have to consider is, in submitting the expression of interest, you, as a first step, book your English exam. Do some studying for that, pursue that, try to do, as best as possible, and focus a lot on the listening because that was what I really had to, you know, revise. The other sections were a bit straightforward, but I had never done an English test as a native English speaker that had involved a listening section. So that was a section that was a bit unfamiliar to me. So I focused a lot of my, or more of my revision on the listening part. And after you're successful in the English exam, or I would say even at the same time, you could pursue doing the English exam and evaluating your credentials at the same time. And after you're finished with that, you submit your expression of interest to apply for permanent residency. After you're done with that, hopefully fingers crossed, you'll get an email and you'll be invited to submit an application for permanent residency. And what I really liked about the process is that everything was laid out online on the Government of Canada's website. And in terms of the processing time, I think that the processing time for hearing back on your application is really good because the average processing time is 6 months. So that really allows you to plan your life. A lot of immigration programs in other countries, you would have to have someone that initiates the application. So a third party, maybe a family member or a company that is initiating that application. For Canada, you can initiate the application yourself, and I think that's a great opportunity. Why I decided to choose Canada is that Canada is one of the best places in the world to start and operate a business. Canada has excellent healthcare, so excellent healthcare system. And I think a third thing is that I just think that Canada is such an orderly society, and I see it as a place that you can pursue your dreams, work hard, and you'll be rewarded. So continue to follow my channel for more tips and nuggets, things that you can maybe learn from my journey as a new immigrant in Canada and also as an entrepreneur in this country. Now, I'm not an immigration consultant and I'm not an immigration lawyer. So, through this video, I'm not intending to give any advice as it relates to immigration in Canada. I'm just sharing my own personal experience. Stay tuned.